So, back to Pilates this morning. We are going to work through most of Joseph Pilates' classical set. So we're going to go in the order that he designed it. So it'll be a bit different to what we normally do. We're going to be moving around a lot on our mat. We still just need our body weight. We're not doing anything more advanced than that. And by the time we get to the end, if we still have a bit more time, we'll just add in a few other little bits just to bring us to time. Because we haven't quite completed all 34 yet, because there's some more advanced ones in there. Excuse me. We may not fill the full hour with the 34 with the set that we're going to do, but we're going to do as many of the 34 as we can, basically. So we'll come down to lying on our back. We're starting with our 100. That's how he started it. So let's start there. So coming down onto your back, keep the legs hip width apart, so a little space between your inner thighs. We'll take a moment just to find our pelvis position, so bringing your Pilates compass, bringing your thumbs together, your first fingers together, and your Pilates compass down onto the pelvis. The heels of the hands resting on your hip bones, the fingers resting down onto your pubic bone, and a few tilts of your pelvis then, just to make sure we're finding our alignment, tilting the pelvis forward and back. As we tilt the pelvis forward, the hip bones come higher than your pubic bone, the lower back lifts off the mat. As we tilt backwards, the pubic bone comes higher than the hip bones, the lower back collapses onto the mat. And then a last few times, forward and back. And then we'll find our neutral central position, where we're finding our hip bones and pubic bone flat in one plane, so the hands should feel flat on the pelvis. We are noticing that we're pressing our sacrum into the mat. Start by taking your attention down into the pelvic floor as well, and drawing the pelvic floor down into the pelvis. We'll take our hands then to our rib cage, so our thumb resting on our rib cage and our first or second finger down onto our hip bones. And taking a few breaths here, just finding our rib to hip connection. So breathing into the back of the ribs and the side of the ribs. Exhale, then draw those ribs down towards the hips. So as we inhale, we press into the mat a little bit more, pressing our rib cage and our sacrum into the mat. Exhale, then as we draw those ribs down towards the hips, the front of the belly and the deep abdominals beginning to engage. Last time, inhaling into the side and the back of the ribs, pressing into the mat. Exhale, draw your ribs down towards your hips. So we want to maintain that front of body connection, the ribs down towards the hips, the belly button drawing towards the spine. You should be able to still slightly slide your hand in underneath the lower back. The lower back isn't fully collapsing onto the mat, but we want to keep the belly engaged, keep the pelvis pressing down, keep the rib cage pressing down to the mat. Taking a moment to open through the shoulders, shoulder blades flat on the mat, neck nice and long, maybe lifting the head, slightly tucking the chin towards the chest, and keeping that nice activation in the back of the neck. Energy really still along the spine, all the way from the crown of the head to the tailbone, pressing towards the mat. Okay, so for our 100, the feet can stay on the floor or they can come to tabletop, bringing the knees to stack over the hips. The upper body can stay on the mat, or we can come into that lifted position, lifting our head, neck and shoulders off the mat, resting on the very tip of your shoulder blades. Arms are down beside you, palms are facing down. We're bouncing those two basketballs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly let the body come back down. Upper body comes to the mat, feet come to the mat. Windshield wiper the knees or hug the knees into the chest. Okay, I think last week, if you were here, we did try this next one. So this is the roll up. So rolling up is basically we're rolling from a lying position to a seated position. We've done the roll down definitely many times before, but this is just the part the half of the roll down where we're just rolling from lying on our back to a seated position, and then we roll back down. We're going to do these roll ups 4 times. We're really concentrating on lifting our bodies off the mat. Legs can be extended or bent. I think it's easier with the legs extended and the feet pointed, just to activate the legs a little bit more. The arms are going to come above us on the mat, coming to rest above our head. Be careful as you raise the arms to keep the ribs tucking down, keep your shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale to take your hands to the sky, and then exhale, draw yourself off the mat, coming all the way up to seated. We take an inhale here, and then we exhale, we roll down nice and slowly. The roll down is part of it, but it's not where our main focus is. Our main focus is the roll up. So inhale, take your hands to the sky again. Exhale, draw yourself all the way up to seated. Take your inhale, exhale, rolling yourself down. Well done. We're going to go for 2 more. Hands come down to the mat. Take an inhale, take hands to the sky. Exhale, draw yourself up to seated. Inhale at the top, exhale, rolling yourself down. And we're on our last one. Inhaling, taking your hands to the sky. Exhale, drawing yourself up, all the way up to seated. Lovely. From our seated position, we're coming to the roll over, which is like spine stretch. So we're staying seated and we're doing our 4 spine stretches forward. So the toes can still be pointed, or you can flex the feet if you'd like a contrast. We're taking an inhale here, and then we're exhaling, rolling forward, stretching through the spine, reaching the crown forward. Inhale, exhale, restacking all the way back up to seated. 3 more. Inhale, exhale, reach forward, lengthen through the fingertips, lengthen through the crown of the head, just rounding the top of the spine. Inhale, exhale, restack. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, reach and lengthen. Inhale and exhale, restack. Last one. Inhale, exhale, reach and lengthen, maybe going as long as you can this time, longer than the other times. Inhale, exhale, restack, all the way back up. Lovely. Let the arms relax, maybe give a roll of the shoulders, maybe give the legs a little shake. And then we're going to lie back down onto our back. We're going to the single leg circle, so just lying yourself all the way back down. And we'll take a bend into the left leg, keeping the foot on the floor, just to keep that nice stability there. Make sure as we lie back down, we're finding that neutral pelvis again. We're pressing in with the sacrum and the rib cage, the slight little lift in the lower back, keeping the shoulder blades flat on the mat and keeping that nice long neck at the back. And then taking your right leg towards your right foot towards the sky, point the toe or flex the foot. The arms can stay on the mat alongside you, palms are facing down. And then we're circling the right leg out for 5 circles. Nice and slow and controlled. Round 2, around for 3, for 4, keep breathing here. And for 5, and then when you get back to the top, reversing your circle for 5 as well. Trying to keep the pelvis as steady on the mat as possible. We're keeping breathing down into our belly. Keeping the shoulders nice and flat, taking these nice and slow. 3, 4, and 5. Right leg can come back to bent, bring the foot to the floor, and we'll take the left leg, foot to the sky, point the toe or flex the foot, and we're circling around for 5, and 4, 3, and 2, and 1. When you get back to the top, reverse your circle. 5 in the opposite direction. 5, 4, and the bigger the circle, maybe a little bit more challenging. So if you're finding that, just take the circle as big as is manageable for you. I think we're on our last one. And then rebend that left leg, bring your foot to the floor. You might like to windshield wiper the knees or hug the knees into the chest. I'm going to be referring to my notes a bit more today because this isn't my usual sequence. So you'll have to excuse me checking my notes. All right, we're going to go for a new one. I don't think we've done roll like a ball yet. So this one is a nice massage for our spine. So we'll come back up to seated, so either rolling to one side to come up or crossing at the ankles, rolling up to a seat. I'll just give you one demonstration and then we'll see if we can manage to do 4 together. So rolling like a ball, we're coming up to a lifted position on our sit bones, drawing our thighs in towards our chest, hands are in and behind the thighs. We're lifting up nice and tall when we're in the starting and ending position, but to roll like a ball, we create that C curve in our spine. We tuck our chin down towards our chest, our crown of our head towards our knees, and then we roll back and we roll back up to seated, keeping the feet off the floor when we come up if we can. So we're going to go for 4 of those, and when we come up into that nice extended position with our spine. We round before we roll, and then once we come back up, we lift back up into that nice extension. Okay, let's see how we go. Rounding the spine, taking the head towards the knees, and whenever you're ready, rolling back and coming back up to a seat, lifting through the chest. 3 more. Inhale, exhale, roll all the way back up. 2 more, rolling through our spine and back up. Last one, curving and rolling and back up to seated. Okay, let the feet drop. And our next one, okay, we're doing our roll over. So this one we're going to be taking our feet over our head, bringing them behind us on the mat. So it's similar to our roll down in that we're bringing our top of our torso onto the mat, but then the legs are going to follow and come overhead. So I'll just do one to demonstrate how it looks. So like we do with our roll down, we're going to roll our body all the way down to the mat, and then the legs come overhead. We roll back up to seated. So we roll down through the torso, legs come overhead, and we roll up. Now there's a way of doing this easily where we use momentum and we just use the movement of the body. Try and go a little bit slower than momentum. So try and control it a little bit if you can, so that you're not just rolling and landing back up to seated. Try and have a little bit of control of the body. Use your breath, use your strength to try and slow it down just a fraction. But we're going to go for 4 of them. Let's see how we manage it. This is another new one. So hands and arms out in front of you. Take your inhale. As you exhale, round your spine, roll back. Legs come with you overhead and coming all the way back up to seated. Lovely. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, round the spine, roll down. Legs overhead and all the way back up to seated. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, roll down. Legs follow. Well done. All the way back up to seated. Lovely. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Roll. Legs overhead. All the way back up to seated. Let the arms come down. Roll through the shoulders. Legs get a little shake out. All right. We're going for slow next. Are we feeling a bit too warm? Should I pop back on the cold air? Yeah?
Yep.
No problem. I thought it was starting to get warm myself. Right. We feeling okay though otherwise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know.
Just take a second to cook it, I'd say, but it's coming. Okay, so saw is next. I think we have done saw before, but we still haven't done it very many times. So legs are just about hip width apart. Flex the feet for this one. And saw is where we're twisting to the side. We turn our backhand to face away. We bring our baby finger towards our baby toe. We reach into spine stretch, and then we come all the way back up to seated and all the way back to the top. So we inhale in the center, we exhale as we turn, baby finger to baby toe, spine stretch, coming back up to seated and then back through to the center. Okay, let's all go to the right first so we don't have any crashes. Relax the shoulders nice and tall with the spine. Inhale to prepare, exhale, twist to the right, reaching your baby finger towards your baby toe, back up to seated and back to center. Exhale, twist, inhale, exhale, spine stretch, inhale, back up, exhale, return. Inhale in the center, exhale to twist, inhale to prepare, exhale, spine stretch, inhale, back up, exhale, return. Inhale, exhale, twist, inhale, exhale, spine stretch, inhale, back up, exhale, return. Last 2 each side. Inhale, exhale to twist, And inhale and exhale to lengthen. Inhale back up. Exhale, return. Exhale to twist. Inhale. Exhale to lengthen. Inhale back up. Exhale, return. Last one each side. Exhale to twist. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, spine stretch. Inhale back up. Exhale, return. Exhale to twist. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, spine stretch. Inhale back up. Exhale, return. Let the arms come back down. Roll of the shoulders. Wiggle of the legs. Okay. On to our bellies next. We're going down for swan dive. So rolling onto your front. Swan dive. We're bringing our rib cage down towards our hips when we come down to lie on our belly. Hands are in underneath our shoulders. We're setting ourselves up like we look like we are starting cobra. So draw the elbows in against the ribs. This is the one where our little marble is underneath our nose. We're rolling that marble up the wall in front of us, and then we're lowering back down. We're going for 4 swan dives. So when you're ready, take an inhale. Exhale, roll that marble, lifting through the head, lifting through the chest, lengthening through the crown of the head. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly bring that marble back down all the way underneath the nose. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Press your belly button back towards your spine. Engage the belly. Inhale. Exhale, lower back down. The last one. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. And exhale, lower. Okay, when you get back down, stack the hands, bend the knees, sway the legs. All right.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Yeah.
On that, is that like, or what, like on some of the things when we lift up, we're supposed to keep our legs relaxed and not focus. So where's the focus?
For swan dive, the focus is still always our front body and our spine. So the legs are the same way as I would usually recommend.
Okay.
They're gently active, so roll the heels inwards and point the toes or flex the feet. So keep the legs nice, just gently active. They're not doing a lot of work in swan dive because we're really thinking about that engagement of the front body and the lengthening and strengthening of the back, but you want the legs to be helping you to lift, I suppose. So that's the only thing with the legs.
And so
Okay.
is there any pressure on your hands?
Your hands, well, your hands are helping you to lift, but really you could do it without the hands if you have a strong enough core to be able to lift you. So there's a bit of a support there from the hands, I suppose, but we're trying not to use the hands to press us up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of was pressing up.
Yeah,
and
you
then I
did it all
realized
over
that
again.
wasn't, I wasn't doing very much when I was pressing
Yeah.
up.
So if you can think about the abdominal engagement a little bit more to lift your chest, lift your body off the mat. The arms are there to help you. And you do feel it in the elbows, I think predominantly, for me anyway. I start to feel it in the elbows as we go through the set. But that's still swan dive prep. Full swan dive actually looks like this.
I've never seen a swan do that.
That's a swan. That's full swan dive. So we're not quite there yet. We're still working on making sure our abdominals are engaged for that one.
Question, Lisa.
Pardon? Yes?
You've got your legs way out. I do any of this work with my legs together for my lower back.
Yeah, that's okay. If you need to modify for that, that's no problem.
Okay, that's the way we were taught by Dr. Rollins.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm just noticing.
Yeah. I think probably hip width apart is probably recommended in the front lying ones as well. I probably had my legs a little wider than that just there. And I would be rolling my heels inwards and the inner seams of the leggings inwards as well for the activity of the legs. So they're not
Your heels kind of together.
heels coming in towards the centre, yeah. Because in swan dive the legs aren't really used at this point anyway. We're only doing swan dive prep. For swimming, say for example, we would be using the legs, so they would be a little bit more active in that one. But for swan dive, they're just staying on the mat. But we don't want them just like relaxed either, because they are helping us with the lift. We're pressing into the mat with the legs so that we can lift through the upper body as well. So we do want them activated, but just they're not the full part of the exercise, if that makes sense. Yeah?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, could you just, for clarity's sake, as we finished with that, just walk us through one press up, one,
The swan dive one more time.
just that, just one lift.
Yeah,
So
no-
just to
no problem.
reinforce what it was that we're supposed to do.
Absolutely. So the hands are in underneath the shoulders, elbows are drawing in along the rib cage. We are hovering our nose just above the mat, so we're looking straight down, and that little marble is underneath your nose. Draw your rib cage down towards your hips, so your chest isn't really lifting. Our body is as close to the mat as we can be. The nose is really the only thing that's hovering above the mat. The pelvis is in a neutral position, pressing down with the hip bones and the pubic bone. The legs are gently active by rolling the inner seam of your leggings or your heels, if that makes more sense for you, to roll them inwards towards the centre of the mat. So the legs are gently active, they're pressing into the mat. I would suggest either pointing the toes or flexing the feet so that the legs are fully active through the whole part of the leg. And then for this movement, we're moving on the exhale. So we inhale with our body on the mat and our nose towards the mat. And then we exhale to roll that marble away, lift our head, lift our chest, come up into full extension. Inhale at the top, and then we exhale, rolling all the way back down. And as we lift in that one, we're pressing the belly button back towards the spine. Really an engagement at the front of the body and lengthening through the crown of the head, shoulders relaxed. And then we exhale, slowly bring ourselves back down. Does that explain it better, Mary?
Very well. thank you.
Yeah? Okay, no
Full
problem.
extension, okay.
As much as you can. Like if you prefer just to come to like a bent elbow, that's fine. If it's more about lifting the body off the mat and pressing the belly button back towards the spine, that's the bit I want you to really focus on, rather than the arms, you know, where the arms are, how far the arms extend. But like some people can get all the way up to here if they've got a very mobile back. And some people it's just here because their lower back doesn't allow them to. So the lift, how high you lift isn't so important, but thinking about it being abdominal is definitely important. Okay. All right, we're going on to our backs. We've got single leg kick and double leg, or single leg stretch and double leg stretch rather, not kick, because kick is the one on the front. Okay. Lots of moving around in this one. Okay. All right, so when you come back down onto your back, having your legs bent and your feet on the floor to get us set up. Come back just to make any adjustments that you need to your pelvis, your rib cage, your shoulders and your neck. Once you're in position, the arms are alongside you on the mat, fingers reaching down towards your feet. The upper body can stay on the mat, or we're lifting the upper body into that lifted position, resting our shoulder blade tips just on the mat, lifting with the shoulders and the chest rather than lifting with the neck. The neck should have no tension, so maybe just turning the head to notice that the neck is nice and relaxed. It's lifting your head, but it's not having any tension. And then the legs are going to come to tabletop, stacking your knees over your hips, point the toes or flex the feet, and pressing in with the back of the sacrum, pressing in with the rib cage. We're inhaling with our legs here. Exhale, extend one leg. Inhale, return. Exhale, extend the other leg. Inhale, return. And you can pick up the speed if you want to, just moving on an inhale, moving on an exhale. But just return the knee back to the bent position in the center. Knee comes to stack over the hip, doesn't come any closer to the chest. And if you want to make it a little harder, the extended leg can come down towards the mat, working into those lower abdominals by taking the leg a little lower. Keeping the legs nice and active, point the toes or flex the feet. Keep breathing with your movement. If you're feeling any tension in the neck, just let the head and shoulders come back down. We're going to go for last 3 on this leg. Last 3 on this leg. Last 2. Last 2. Last 1. Last 1. All right, bring the feet back down, let the upper body come back down. Take a quick little bit of movement or a bit of a breather. We're going to go straight to double leg stretch from this one. So we're staying lying on our back. Same movement with the legs, but both legs are working together this time. We'll glue our knees together, glue our ankles together for this one as well. So whenever you're ready, just coming back into position in the center first, then maybe lifting your head, neck and shoulders back off the mat if you're coming back to that lifted position, bringing legs back to tabletop. This time, as I said, glue the knees together, glue the ankles together. Feet are still pointed or flexed, whichever you prefer. And then we exhale to extend both legs. Inhale, return to bent. And then keeping the feet towards the sky will make it a little easier. If you want to make it more challenging, bring the extended legs down towards the mat. The lower you go, the more challenging it will be. And those deeper abdominals, lower abdominals will be worked harder. Those ones tend to be a bit weaker. We may not be able to manage too many of the ones where we take the legs down towards the floor, but just take it as much as feels comfortable for you. Again, any tension that creeps into the neck, just let the head and shoulders come back down. You'll still feel this abdominal work with the legs working. Let's go for last 5, last 4, last 3, last 2, last 1. All right, bring the feet back down, upper body comes back down, take another little moment of movement. Windshield wiper or hug the knees in. I don't feel like the air came on at all. I want to check on it. Well, I got to the end of that one. I was like, that is getting warmer again. All right, 1 second.
It came on for a bit.
Degree. Let's see if that works now. Oh, there, I heard it that time. All right, we feeling okay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Great stuff.
You know.
Yes, but we feel the activity. Okay, so we haven't done this next one. We are still sitting on our back. We haven't done this next one, but it's a very straightforward one. So I'm sure you'll all be able to manage. Again, the upper body can be on the mat, or we can be in that little lifted position, head, neck and shoulders off the mat, reaching our chin down towards our chest. This is called scissor legs. So the legs are going to start tabletop, and then we'll take both legs straight. And then we're just taking one leg towards the chest, one leg towards the mat, and switching. So maybe moving with your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Point the toes or flex the feet, lock out the knees. Taking the leg as close to the chest as feels comfortable, pressing the other leg down towards the mat. You can have the hands either side of the leg that's coming towards the chest, if that feels comfortable for you. Okay, let's go for last 5 on this side, last 5 on this side, last 4, last 4, last 3, last 3, last 2, and 2, last 1, last 1. Upper body comes back down, hug the knees in or bring the feet down to the floor. It's a new one, but it's not too complicated in its makeup, but it is challenging at the same time. So take a little moment now.
How did you breathe in that one?
I usually just inhale, exhale as I'm swapping legs.
Okay.
So like inhale and then exhale for the other side. But if you want to take it a little slower, you could just inhale as one leg comes in, take your next, exhale as the leg comes in, take another inhale, and then exhale, swap the leg towards the chest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Inhale before you prepare, and then exhale to move. But depending on what speed you want to take it,
I
really.
was trying to do that. It wasn't working.
Okay.
And you couldn't breathe.
Mainly, like when you're starting to do any of the newer exercises, what I would recommend is just make sure you're still breathing. We'll perfect the breathing pattern as we go on, but really just in the first few times you do the exercise, just make sure you're breathing when you're not holding on to your breath and holding more tension in the body than you need. And then we'll figure out the breath pattern as we get used to the exercise, because there's a lot to think about, because it's so different to our yoga movement and our yoga breathing that just getting used to the exercise alone, and then we'll work out the breath. So we're going straight into bridges on our back. We're going to go for 6 rounds of bridge. Our first 3 we're just going to be rolling up and down nice and smoothly, and then the last 3 I'm going to get you to pause at the top, and we're going to make them just a little bit of a longer hold. Okay, so again, just find your positioning. Legs are parallel and there's a little space between the inner thighs. The legs are still hip width apart. The pelvis is still pressing into the mat. The little lift in the lower back, pressing in with the rib cage. Shoulders nice and open. Shoulder blades on the mat behind you. The neck is nice and long. Slight tuck of the chin inwards towards your chest. Arms are alongside the body, fingers reaching down towards your feet. When you're ready, take an inhale. As you exhale, tilt the pelvis, peel your spine off the mat, coming up to rest on the shoulder blades. Take your inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly bring the spine back down, just rolling down through each vertebrae. Pelvis comes down, lower back lifts again. Take another inhale. Exhale, slowly tilt the pelvis, peel your body off the mat, all the way up to your shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale, slowly bring the body back down, massaging the spine as it comes back down onto the mat. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, slowly coming up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly bring the body back down. Okay, for these next three, we're holding at the top and breathing. Take an inhale. Exhale, tilt your pelvis, slowly coming up. Holding out the top, keep your breath flowing. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Squeeze your kneecaps towards the front of the room. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips a little higher. Press your belly button back towards your spine. Open through the shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly bring the body back down, still controlling it, one vertebrae at a time, all the way down to the mat. Pelvis is down, lower back lifts. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, tilt your pelvis, peel your body off the mat. Still just resting on the shoulder blades. We're not coming any higher. We're lifting to the center and we're holding there. Keep breathing. Again, squeeze those inner thighs, kneecaps forward, open the hip flexors at the front of the hips. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips a little higher. Open through the chest. Belly button back towards your spine. Reach those fingers down towards your feet. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly come back down. All the way back down to the mat. Pelvis is down. Lower back lifts. We've last one. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly bring your body up into bridge. At the top. Pausing but breathing. Squeeze those glutes. Lift the hips a little higher. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Kneecaps forward. Belly button back towards your spine, rib cage down towards your hips. Open through the shoulders, lengthen through the neck. Reach your fingertips down towards the feet. Last little lift of the hips, squeeze the glutes. Take an inhale, exhale, slowly bring the body back down. All the way back down. This time when the pelvis comes down, the lower back lifts and you can hug your knees in or windshield wiper the legs. Okay. Bridge can feel lovely for our spine, but can also feel tough when we're at the top and we're finding all those little tweaks to make it a little stronger. Alright, whenever you're ready, we're coming back up to seated and we're coming to our little spine twist. So legs are hip width apart when we come back up. Flex the feet and keep the legs nice and active. The arms can be either open and we're taking them slightly forward of our body. We're not pressing them out, so we're not squeezing our shoulder blades together. The shoulder blades sit flat on our mat, on our back rather, not on our mat, on our back. Or the hands can be across the chest if we prefer. And either way, we're sitting up nice and tall, thinking about that little invisible thread through the crown of the head. The shoulders are nice and relaxed. As I said, the shoulder blades are not squeezing together, but they're just sitting comfortably on our back. We're sitting up onto our sit bones. Keep your ribs pressing down towards your hips. Keep your belly engaged, belly button back towards the spine. And then we're twisting. We're going to go to the right. We're inhaling in the center. We twist to the right. Pulse for 2. And back to the center. Inhale. Exhale. Pulse for 2. Inhale. Back to center. Exhale. Pulse for 2. Inhale, back to center. Keep moving with your breath, pulsing for 2. Inhale, back to center. This movement is coming from the bottom of the rib cage to the top of the head. The lower body is staying nice and steady. The pelvis isn't moving. The legs aren't moving. We're just twisting through our spine. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. We're going to go for 2 more each side. Exhale to the right, pulse for 2. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left, pulse for 2. Inhale, back to center. Last one each side, pulse for 2. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Pulse for 2. Inhale, back to center. Let the arms relax. Let the legs relax. Whew. Okay. Spine twist. Side lying. All right. We're on to our side lying set. No, side lying 1. It's only 1. So we will lie down to face the door. I'll come over to you. As always, you can be on your arm. I'm still going to keep it at this level. Pilates, Joseph Pilates version is a little bit more challenging still, but I think we're all more comfortable if we're lying on our arm or on our forearm if you're there already. The forearm version is just where we take the forearm to the mat. The palm is facing down, the elbow is underneath the shoulder. His version is higher again, so we're not going any higher than that today. We're going to be sweeping the top leg, so our bottom leg can stay bent. Top leg is extended. We're raising slightly through our heel. Our big toe is pointing down towards the floor. Keep your hips stacking one on top of the other, and then keeping the leg at about hip height. Bring your toe forward and your heel back. Toe forward, heel back. Nice and slow and steady, no movement of the body. This movement is just our thigh bone in our hip socket. Keeping the leg elevated if we can to work into the hip area in particular. And as we press it back, maybe pressing it back with a little pause. Oops, sorry about the cracking ankle. Pressing it back with a little pause, we activate the hamstrings and the glutes at the back of the leg, really pressing into our heel as we press it back. Looking great, everybody. Well done. Block out that knee, keep the leg nice and long. Point the toe forward, heel to come back. Let's go for our last 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. All right. Relax that leg, tap it out. We're rolling straight over to the other leg. We will have one more sideline one later, but we're only doing one at the moment. So bottom leg can be bent if we need it for the extra stability. We're on our forearm or on our extended arm. Top leg is extended, point the toe, bring your heel slightly lifted, your toe slightly forward, keep the hips stacked as we bring the toe forward and the heel back. Toe forward, heel back. Nice and stable in the core. The abdominal is still working. Press your belly button still back towards your spine. Stabilize the body. So as always, we're trying to keep that stability, keep that control. We're still breathing though. We're not letting ourselves hold the breath. And again, on these sideline ones, there's not necessarily an order to your breathing. You might like to breathe out as you sweep the leg forward and inhale as you come back. But just as long as the breath is moving, that's all we worry about in these ones. Okay, let's go for our last 3. Last 2. Last 1. All right. You let that top leg rest, tap it out if you need to, and you can lie back on to, actually you can come to seated because we'll go to teaser. So we'll start that one from seated. How are we doing on time? 15:15. Well, just coming up to 15:15. Okay. We are making our way through. I'd say we'll get to the end of the ones that we have already. Like, I know I added in 1 or 2 new ones, but they were kind of easy enough ones. I'm just eliminating the more intermediate to advanced ones. They're the only ones I'm taking out, so you'll thank me when you see those ones. I'll show you some of them at the end if you like. So we're going to go for teaser. If you have been here in the last couple of weeks, I have introduced teaser a little bit, but if it's your first time seeing it, don't worry about it. It is a teaser. If you don't think you're going to be able to manage it once I've demonstrated it, you could come back to our C curves, where we either have the legs bent or straight, and we're just rolling through the spine. We're taking an inhale and we come all the way back up to exhale. So that one is a good modification if you think that teaser is going to be too hard. So teaser, the full position of teaser looks like this. The legs are extended, arms are extended, and this is where we start and end. But the trick with this one is that we're going to be rolling in and out of it. So we take a bend in our knees, we roll through the spine, we create that C curve, and then we roll down, keeping our arms elevated, keep the legs bent. We take an inhale, we exhale, lift up, coming back up to sit on our sit bones, legs extended, arms extended. So that's what teaser looks like. The full version is to do it without bending the knees, and you come back up like that.
That was very hard. What about just doing it with the feet on the mat?
You could do it that way. So that would be the same as doing the C curve. Don't even roll all the way down. Just come to C curve. Just modify it to that, and do 4 of those if you think it's too much this morning. Absolutely. So if you're wanting to try teaser, even for 1 or 2, we're taking the legs parallel to the arms, reaching the fingers and the feet towards the sky, sitting up onto your sit bones, lift through the chest, and then take an inhale, bend your knees, Exhale as you round the spine and lower your body nice and slowly down onto the mat. Keep the arms elevated, legs bent. Inhale. Exhale, lift yourself up. Find your teaser. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Roll through the spine, down onto the mat. Inhale. Exhale, lift. If we've got 2 more, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Roll the spine, roll down. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Woo, it's wobbly that time. Inhale. Exhale, roll down. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Okay, let the feet come down. Give your body a moment if you want to roll onto your back, or if you just want to sit up and have some movement. Maybe a little twist through the spine. Maybe a side stretch might feel nice either. Woo. Lots of activation in the body in those ones. So you can see a lot of these more intermediate to advanced ones, they really start to be full body movements. Like every part of our body is active in something like teaser, or in roll like the ball. Earlier we were doing that one. Like we're using our spine, we're using our core. The arms are active, the legs are held, but they're still active really. So that's why it becomes more like a full body workout in each of the exercises. But we've been working really hard to establish the foundation so we can do all of these more advanced ones, because if we started these without any of the foundations and any of the focus on our body, then it'd be a lost cause really. Yes. we'd be really struggling. Okay, we're going to be down onto our back. We're coming to the hip twists. So that's just like it's similar to single leg circles, but both legs are working together. So we can be lying flat on our back, or we can be on the forearms for this one, or the hands can be gently behind us. And if the hands are on the mat, then our body is in like a ski slope sort of position. The legs are coming straight up in front of us. We're gluing the feet together, gluing the knees together, and then we're circling in one direction for 5. The upper body can be on the mat though as well for this one, if that feels more manageable. 3, 4, and 5, and reversing your circle, going the opposite direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. You can either lie back down or sit up. We're going to be going on to our front next anyway. We're coming down to do swimming. So we'll get a little opportunity to stretch out the body a little bit. As you come down onto your belly, the arms are coming out to the front of our mat. As we raise the arms, be careful of the shoulders, be careful of the rib cage. So draw your shoulders down away from the ears, draw your rib cage down towards your hips. Pelvis is pressing against the mat evenly, so hip bones and pubic bone all pressing down with equal pressure. Lower back is nice and relaxed. For swimming, the legs are gently active again, so we're rolling those heels inwards. Point the toes or flex the feet. We're feeling the legs and the glutes slightly active, but they're not doing anything right now. They're just on the mat. They are going to be lifting in a moment, so we'll feel it more when we start to lift them off the mat. But again, as our front line exercises, it's all about the abdominals in this one again. So we're drawing that belly button back towards the spine when we're lifting. We're really trying to engage the low, deep abdominals, so your pelvic floor as well. We will feel it a little bit in our back, but we're trying to not have any tension or pain in the lower back. So if you do feel that, just don't come as high up into it, and just really think about the belly engagement rather than the back engagement. Okay, so for swimming, we're lifting the upper body for 3, lower body for 3, all of the body for 3, and then we'll start to do the movement on our last set. So when you're ready, looking down at your mat, nice and long through the back of the neck and out through the crown of the head. Take your inhale, exhale, lift the arms, lift the chest. Inhale, exhale, slowly lower down. 2 more with the upper body. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lower. Upper body stays on the mat. We're lifting through the legs. Inhale, exhale, lift the legs. Inhale, exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, lift. inhale, exhale, lower. One more, inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, exhale, lower. Okay, if you need a little bit of movement before we come into the harder part, you can sway the hips or even bend the knees and let the feet fall side to side. So we're lifting all of the body for 3 rounds, and then we'll be into our movement after that. So it's arms and chest off the mat as well as the legs. So keep the legs active, point the toes or flex the feet. And when you're ready, take an inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, exhale, lower, inhale, exhale, lift, just resting on your rib cage and your pelvis. Inhale, exhale, lower, last one. Inhale, exhale, lift, belly button to your spine. Inhale, exhale, lower. Okay, lifting up then and starting to move opposite arm, opposite leg for 5 rounds of breath. When you're ready, take your inhale, exhale, lift, opposite arm, opposite leg, nice and slow and controlled. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly let the body come back down. Stack the hands, rest the head, maybe bend the knees, sway the feet. Okay. Do we need any more assistance on that one? Are we feeling okay with swimming? Yeah. It's hard, but we know where we're going with it, yeah? Alrighty, perfect. So we have 2 lots of our leg pulls in plank coming next. So we're going to do a regular front facing plank. You can be on the forearms with the legs extended or in full extended arms. And leg pull just looks like this. We're flexing the foot, lift the heel for 2 pulses, lift the heel for 2 pulses. We try and keep the body nice and steady as we just move the legs. We're going for, we'll actually, in terms of timing, we'll just do 1 set and we'll do 8, and then we're going to do the reverse plank leg pull as well, and we'll do 8 there, because we just have about, after these 2 we have 3 last exercises, and then we'll have done, I'll count how many we're doing out of the 34, but we'll have done all that we can do in terms of ones we've already done in our classes so far. So either an extended arm plank or the forearm plank, extending out through the legs, lifting the hips nice and high, press your chest away from the mat, either on forearms or extended arms, and then lifting with your leg, whichever leg you want to start with, lifting and pulsing for 2, and that's 7, 6, keep breathing, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come down onto your knees. If you want to find a child's pose in between, you're welcome to stretch out the body, and we'll be coming around onto seated whenever you're ready. There's no rush. So our reverse leg pull is like Purvottanasana in yoga. It's that reverse tabletop or reverse plank. In Pilates though, instead of turning the fingers towards the feet like we do in yoga, the hands can be to the side or to the back if that feels more comfortable, more accessible. And you can be in the reverse plank and the same thing, it's just that those little pulses upwards. But if you prefer to be in reverse tabletop, it's just to extend the leg. So we'll just bring the leg out to extension and extension for those count of 8. Alright, so you've got 2 different options, whichever one feels better for you today. When you're ready, lifting up, nice and long through the body, keep the hips nice and elevated, lifting the leg for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, slowly lower back down. Take another breather if you want to come into a relaxed forward fold. Bend the knees round the body. Or maybe A twist or a side body stretch might feel nice either, depending on how the body's starting to feel now. We've just got 3 left. We're nearly there.
I want to know why all of you could lift your feet like that and I could not move my feet.
Were you in reverse plank?
A little right, you think?
Lifting here? That's really hard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't.
There's a lot going on in this one to be able to maintain the lift and then add in the leg lift.
I just can't. I mean, if I did, I would smack my heel so hard.
Yeah. So it's
That's better.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah.
So think about stability here, think about engaging your belly, stability here, and then try and lift the leg.
It's really hard.
Yeah. There you go. And hip flexor strength as well. That's it.
That's
So
really hard.
So lower down and gently. So don't hold the breath as well. So
Yeah.
I can hear you holding
Yeah,
the breath.
yeah.
Keep breathing. Make sure you're relaxing the body as much as you can. You want tension so that you can lift the body, but you don't want to tense to the point of holding your breath because that's not going to help you either. So and then think about trying to open through the chest, press the body nice and lifted, press the hips nice and high. And if you want to come to the reverse tabletop version and just extend the leg, you're still going to get a lot of activity in
Yeah,
that one.
I was just lifting my hips higher,
Yeah.
but it seemed.
Hey, at least you got a.
You got.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn you were doing it too.
I was, but at
There
least
you
you
go.
got it.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
got it, yeah.
I got up.
Kevin collapsed last Wednesday in this one. He was doing it and he instead of doing the modified version, he went for the harder version too, and he had a pop in his hamstring.
Oh, no pops for him. He is
Yeah.
disallowed.
I know. I was like, what are you doing? Why did it go that far? And in Ashtanga yoga, it's referred to as yogi butt. It's your hamstring, it's your ligament
Short,
attaching
yeah.
your hamstring to your pelvis, and it's quite a common injury in Ashtanga. But he'd never heard of it before. I don't think you get injured like that in Kundalini yoga. But anyway, luckily he didn't do anything.
No, I did not get injured. I just bailed.
Yeah, but he was trying the harder one too, and I was like, why didn't you just do the tabletop
I
version?
remember I heard him behind me
Oh my
making
gosh,
racket.
it sounded.
Okay.
It popped and then he dropped to the floor straight away, so it was like a whole
Oh.
combination of noise.
I mean, he's so lean. He has-
I know, that too,
he
that
is-
too.
If you can't do it, you shouldn't do it.
I know. And I gave everyone the option, but he just wants to push himself.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to be on our last one. So this one is a side lying one. It is requiring us to be on our extended arm and our knee. So we'll be looking like a side plank. So it's like this. And then we're just reaching our arm overhead. We're drawing our knee to our elbow. So we'll just go for, in time wise, we'll go for 5 each side. So whichever side, do you want to face the mirrors first? And I'll come over this side. So we're on our knee and we're on our hands, extending the arm, lifting through that open shoulder, lifting the top arm overhead, and then we're drawing knee to elbow through the side of the body. We'll go for 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. All right, and we'll swap over to the other side. You can either swap. You want to face the other way? Is that easier? Yeah. Won't make things too complicated. Whatever way is easiest. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Anyway, that's the main thing.
There we
We
go.
just want to have balance. And extend your arm up overhead. Reach your toe out the opposite direction, and then draw knee to elbow for 5 and extend. Knee to elbow for 4. Extend. Last 3. Extend. Last 2. Extend. Last 1. Extend. All right. Take a moment if you want to find a little stretch or movement. We'll come to standing. We're going to finish with our roll down, and then we'll just shake it out, move it out, stretch it out. I think because we did a little bit more tutorial as we went through, it took us a little longer than the last time I did that one, but that's absolutely perfect. All right, we're going to do just 2 roll downs. We don't even need to be at the back of our mat because we're not going to do the push-up one today. We're just going to do the roll downs just to loosen our spine out in a standing position. So remember, in our Pilates roll downs, we're imagining we have that little fence in front of our rib cage. We're trying to scoop our body, lift our chest, lift our belly up and over that fence as we round through the body, and bend the knees as we come down. And then we're going to stack the body, coming back up over that fence, realigning ourselves back up to a tall position. So we're going to go for 2 of them together. Take your arms up overhead, take an inhale, relax the shoulders. Exhale, dive up and over your fence, bend your knees as much as you need, scoop the belly, lift the chest, all the way down, hands to the mat, take an inhale. Exhale, restack the spine, one vertebrae on top of the other, all the way back up to extension. Be careful of the rib cage as you come back up. Don't flare through the ribs. Keep the ribs tucking down to your hips. Take another inhale. Exhale, dive up and over the fence. Bending the knees, rounding through the spine. Get as much rounding as you can. Hands reach the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, restack all the way back up to extension. And then let the arms come back down. Start by rolling the shoulders. One direction and the other. We'll take the feet a little wider, soften through the knees, and we'll just start to sway the body, looking over each shoulder. Relax the arms, relax the shoulders, relax the neck, relax the breath. Okay, let's go for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back to the center. Take a moment if you need to find your gaze. Walk the feet back in just a little bit, and we'll just stretch the neck as well, just to make sure we don't hold on to any tension there. Turn your chin to your right shoulder, back through center, chin to the left, back to center. In terms of time, we'll just take our chin towards the sky, lengthen through the back of the neck, stretching the front of the neck and the chest. Chin down towards your chest, lengthen through the back of the neck. And then chin back to center. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Drop your shoulder, maybe lengthening the left arm. Back to center. Left ear, left shoulder. Be careful of the shoulder, not the shoulder. The shoulder isn't coming up to the ear is coming to the shoulder. Maybe lifting the other arm, the right arm. Back through to center. Maybe give a couple of rolls of the shoulders again. And if you want to spend another few moments stretching, you're welcome to. I'm just going to say that it's the end of the class, that you guys are not staying here any longer on my behalf, but you're always welcome to stay and stretch or move or questions